are back. It's been, I think, almost 2 months since right after the All-Star meet, since we did anything.
Yeah, I think we were kind of hiding out for a little while. It was getting a little crazy online, and there was big announcements and all kinds of stuff happening. So
Yeah, we got busy and then had, I guess, a few people kind of took some of our steam. So we are re-energized and ready to go. This video will accompany some updated rankings that'll get posted tonight. And we also wanted to do a little, one of the things we talked about when we first started putting this stuff together was taking a chance to do like some previews of some of the biggest and most exciting events around the state, and this weekend is definitely one of those, and we have our first special guest directly from Ryle. We have Coach Wagers with us, so to give us a little insight as we're doing a little preview of the Raider Rumble.
all right, it's good to be back. We I think with the rankings, we were waiting for body fat to come in. You know, it's almost a guessing game when you figure we go from last year, some kids we don't see, and we have to just speculate, okay, well, this kid will probably grow into this weight class. And now that body fats are in, it makes it a little easier to put the kids in the correct weights. And we've actually had some competition for, I guess this will be the third weekend of wrestling, right? So we've been checking events, looking at head-to-heads and seeing how people are doing. So like Jason said, the new rankings will be posted tonight. And you know, we thought posting those right before the Great Big Raider Rumble would be a good thing to do. So
I guess one last little thing on the rankings. We'll see some kids have been shifted in weight. Not everyone will be still competing at the weight where we have them ranked, because we still think there might be some dropping going on at some point, especially after Christmas. So there's still going to be some changes going on. I'm sure some strategic, some just descent plan changes. But for now, things just are where we think kids will end up. And with that, Coach Wagers, anything you want to add before we get going? No? Okay. And
We got to keep this under an hour, right?
that's our goal.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get started.
Let's shoot for that. Yeah. Yeah. 14 weight classes. It's going to be tough, but we'll see what we can do. Worst case, about halfway through, I'll make a pause and we can chop it into. But we'll shoot for that. All right. Let's jump right in. 106. I think 106 is kind of a perfect example of what the first half, 106 to 145, we have a number of pretty highly ranked, pretty tough kids. And 106 is a good example of that. And actually, I didn't go through, I don't know if one of you guys did or not. We might have, how many of the number one ranked guys are going to be here this weekend? There's at least 7 or 8, right? Especially when you take into account one of the kind of tricks in this.
I'd say 7 to 8.
In this preview is figuring out who is going to be competing, with Trinity having at least a good portion of their team up at the Ironman. I know Brandon, our team, we have a couple guys taking ACT, one guy doing a football visit. So I'm sure the ACT is going to have a number of kids out. So this is just what we anticipate being there. But with that 106, we'll have number 1, Adam Bender, returning state placer. He was 4th last year. One of the new little changes in the rankings, number 2, Nate Wheeler, who just had a big win over Mikey Klein. We'll also have number 7 and number 8, Brandon Miller and Chase Yost. Those guys just had a match at the Bearcat Brawl on Saturday, and Miller won that one. So those are kind of your top 10 guys in Kentucky. Also, we have Aaron Brossard from Ryle. We were just talking a little bit about him. He will. I spent most of the preseason expecting him to be 13, or maybe even heard some people talking he'd grown a lot over the summer, maybe 120. So I'm guessing he's going to be a pretty good size 106. I know he's going to be tall, definitely. Should also have Brendan Pye from Scott and Connor Goldsmith from Trinity. And then one of the better out-of-state guys in this weight class, I think it's Caden Brooks. He's ranked number 12 in Indiana right now. So I'm sure he will be someone to be reckoned with in this bracket. So what I rattled off there, eight really tough guys that I would expect to be competing for the placements.
So they will seed the top 4, put those guys.
Last year we did maybe
pools.
5 or 6.
I think it's 6,
Yeah.
because you'll have 4 pools.
Okay.
Yes, if there's enough criteria, they might do 8
Yeah.
with 4 pools.
And then once they wrestle out of that, you win your pool, then they're going to bracket.
Yes.
They'll have a semi-match and a finals.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how Rooks will fit in there, if he has any criteria for being a freshman from Indiana. I guess one of the criteria was your junior high state placement last year. It falls in there, so that could get him in there, but Yost was a state champ, so Rooks could be.
So he might just get thrown in there.
He could be a spoiler coming out of the
Goodness.
pool, so yeah, that could be interesting.
Wow. All right. I'd be curious, because I'm dying to see old Adam Bender's size.
Yeah.
If he continued growing, he's going to be a big boy at 106. So
Definitely.
I believe he's the only kid coming from that team, right?
Yes.
So they're just, I don't know what happened, where the rest of the team goes, but I guess he is coming. Well, all right, we'll see. I think seeding there is probably going to be.
It's going to be a key component. And how do you, with Rooks, what criteria we have, or you got Nate and Yost?
Yeah, I think
Both
Bender
freshmen.
is easy with a state placement. Wheeler, I guess he would be a middle school state champ as well. So not knowing what Rooks' middle school state results were last year, it's hard to tell. So Yost and Wheeler should at least be able to get seeded based on that.
But does the head-to-head come into play with Wheeler beating Klein and Miller beating Yost?
Head-to-head is a part of it.
This year's head-to-head or last
Yes,
year's head-to-head?
This year.
This year.
Head-to-head is one of the criteria.
Okay.
But then where would you put Brossard, who's a returning state qualifier? Is that above a junior high state championship?
I don't
Well,
remember.
we'd have to ask a Ryle guy.
I can't remember. I just put some of that information. I can't remember the order where that fell.
I would think they would take a high school
Regional placer above.
above,
Yeah, I would think so.
so there's a shot he gets a 2 seed.
Wow.
That's a possibility.
That definitely shakes things up.
Yeah, I'd like to see what he looks like at a 6. We saw him in Michigan, and I've spoken to his dad a handful of
see him up there.
times, and it sounds like he's putting in a lot of work, and so
He's put a lot of time in the summer.
we'll see.
For sure.
We'll see how he goes.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to be an interesting one. And yeah, I think
Squeakers.
I think a lot of people expected Bender to be a 108 after Christmas and not 106 from the beginning. So we'll see.
And doesn't Bender and Rooks have some history?
I think it's the older Rooks.
Is it the older one, Caden Rooks? Is that?
Graham.
Graham
Graham's,
Roads,
yeah.
okay, because I remember Bearcat Brawl, what was that, 2 years ago? They had
years
a
ago.
pretty,
Yep.
because he lost to him at
John Harden.
Harden, and then came back in the finals of Bearcat Brawl, and it was a pretty intense match, so.
Good.
113?
13. Another weight where we have a number of top 10 guys. You got number 1, Tylen Tucker, who was 3rd at 106 last year. Tanner Yenter, who was the state runner-up at 106. Blake Roth was 8th at 106. He's right now ranked number 4 at 106. Then you have Connor Krasik, who's ranked number 7. And then coming in from Columbus East, I'm gonna maybe butcher this name, Shonagi, something like that. He's ranked number 13 in Indiana. He may be another freshman, so I'm not sure what his criteria will be. A couple other ranked guys, Shea Horton and Seth Lutz down there right at the edge of the top 25. Both young guys that get in there and see how they compete. I guess the good thing about them being young is it's not like any of these other guys are juniors and seniors. We're talking about a lot of young guys here in this bracket, so they won't be giving up a lot of age, just maybe some high school experience.
So it looks to me with